I know I passed you the mic, but I'm pulling it back. So like we all got into this, and this is really what's been resonating with me the last couple of weeks because we didn't want the job, we didn't want like the 9 to 5 life, and all that stuff that everyone wants. And like there's a time to turn it on, and we all definitely turned it on the last 18 months. And I mean, we worked way harder than anyone who has a 9 to 5 job. But ultimately, like we got into this trading and just the lifestyle of trading because we didn't want to be like, we didn't want those golden handcuffs. We didn't want to be slaves to the market. And we kind of were for 18 months, and it paid off huge dividends. But like Jesse Livermore says it, it's like there's a time to go long, there's a time to go short, and there's a time to go fishing. And this is definitely the time to like just go fishing. Like it's not time to force it. Like there are A+ setups, no question. There are plays every day. It's nothing like it was the last couple months. All right, everybody. Welcome back to This Week in Steady Trade. I had a week off last week. Mr. Tui filled in for me. If you're not familiar with him, you didn't see the last episode, he's our treats guy. Those actually are posted on YouTube, but mostly Instagram. He's a clown, but appreciate Jack and Kyle for putting up with him. But we're back. Just kind of a slow market. I think if you're trading at all, you're well aware. Definitely a huge shift that we've been talking about for many months. And it is what it is. I mean, the market was just so insane for like 18 months, basically nonstop. I mean, what are we in week 5, week 4 of the slowdown? Like, couple month break, it's going to come back around. So if you're a new trader who's just thinking it's over, it's not. It's going to slow down for a little bit. Summer's always historically slow, then it picks back up in the fall. So this is the time to learn new strategies, learn new patterns. I mean, study the last like 3 or 4 months, the number of plays in that time frame. Like it's going to keep you busy for a while to learn everything that's going on there, and then you'll just be prepared for when the next time comes. But that's all I got. That's the whole episode, guys. Cheers. No, I'm just messing with you. I really haven't traded much this week, so I'm gonna pass the mic over to Jack and Kyle. I know they've traded a little bit more. They're more in tune with the market, and we'll see what they got. So, pleasure, boys.
Take it away, Jack. I'll talk last.
All right. I don't know if some of you guys have seen, but I did make a tweet that, excuse me, that I was going to put trading on the back burner and kind of focus on my health and relationships during this slow period. And that's kind of what I'm doing, but I'm still, opening up my laptop at 9 o'clock, seeing a couple plays in the morning, trading the first 30 minutes to an hour, trying to just make the easiest stress-free money possible. And then kind of just shut down and go work out, go for a walk, eat healthy, see my family, see my friends. I'm actually at my parents' house, my mom's house right now. And I'm just kind of not making trading my priority right now because it is slow. And, myself, Monaco, and Kyle, we deserve a break after how hard we've been grinding, like Mono has said, for the last 18 months. And it takes a toll on you mentally and physically. And especially for me, because I know Kyle is a bit more healthier than me. He would work out and do stuff like that. But for me, I didn't eat right. I didn't eat much at all. I didn't go for walks. I didn't stretch. So, my back got really, really tight. And now like my posture screwed up and my neck always hurts. I got like text neck and stuff. So I'm just working through all that, stretching, getting the blood flow in there, doing some strength training and eating right and just doing all that kind of stuff. So that's kind of my spiel about that stuff. And now moving into the market, like I said last episode with Bryce, it's just about being there for the least time possible, being there for the most volatile time, being there for the easiest plays, and then just shutting down and walking away. And that's what I've continued to do this week. And this week's going decently so far. HMBL had 2 morning panics today and yesterday, where I was able to capitalize on a quick short out of the open for around 10%, and then just scoop in the dip once it turns for a quick 3-4%. And that just made me my 5 to 10,000. And I had a couple other trades, but nothing serious. And that's kind of just where I'm at right now. I still have a lot of swings open that I'm just trying to slowly sell off. I'm selling a few positions every single day. Most of them now are losers, so I'm just slowly sizing out of the ones that I don't like anymore, and the ones I definitely overstayed on a lot of trades. PLRTF was definitely one name that kind of stung today. I actually ended up buying it at like 28, 29 cents. It hit a high of $1.45. I didn't sell any, just sold it today at 32 cents. So I gave back my entire gain on that. And that was just kind of the market we were in, where if you sold, it was going to keep going. And now if you want it to bounce, it's just going to keep downtrending, keep downtrending, keep downtrending. So the momentum really, really topped out. And now all these junk names are just selling off so hard. And there's just not too many new stocks popping up. There's not too many hot sectors right now. And Bitcoin, especially too, that just had a major pullback too. So I'm expecting even more slowness going into May, June, July, August. I'm expecting even September. I'm expecting the next 6 months to be not even close to January and February. But once we get into October, November, December, January, February again, that's when I think things will really pick back up. And that's when we'll be able to capitalize again. Of course, there's going to be some good plays in the next 6 months to capitalize on, but I don't think there's going to be that consistent play after play after play after play, A plus, A plus, A plus. I do think there's still going to be some A pluses in the next 6 months that are going to be able to capitalize on. So I'll definitely be around, and I'll be in tune with the market. But like I said, it's just on the back burner. It's not my focus anymore. My focus is other things that I neglected during the hot market.
I love it. I know I passed you the mic, but I'm pulling it back. So like we all got into this, and this is really what's been resonating with me the last couple of weeks, because we didn't want the job. We didn't want like the 9-to-5 life and, all that stuff that everyone wants. And like, there's a time to turn it on, and we all definitely turned it on the last 18 months. And I mean, we worked way harder than anyone who has a 9-to-5 job, but ultimately, like, we got into this trading and just the lifestyle of trading because we didn't want those golden handcuffs. We didn't want to be slaves to the market. And we kind of were for 18 months, and it paid off huge dividends. But like Jesse Livermore says it, it's like, there's a time to go long, there's a time to go short, and there's a time to go fishing. And this is definitely the time to like, just go fishing. Like, it's not time to force it. Like, there are A plus setups, no question. There are plays every day. It's nothing like it was the last couple months. So if you feel burnt out, especially like Jack, pushed it to levels that like I've never seen, and like he deserves, a break. So that's just my opinion. And I'm just trying to get, more in balance. I think I have less balancing to do than Jack, because he's just an animal and he's just, impressive. But that's my take. Okay, mic off.
I agree with all that. And I've realized, and I think Jack kind of already knew this about me, about how I trade in hard markets. I'll push it, but I won't push it as much as I possibly could, just because I've always been a pretty balanced person, no matter what's going on in my life or in trading. So yes, I took my trading to new levels and heights the last 12 to 18 months. But when I reflect on it, I'm thinking, I could have done more. And then you can always say that we all could have done more. That's not to say like that I'm not happy with what I've done. But Jack, I've heard Jack say before to me, and I agree with him, is that, I will typically not perform as much as I could in hot markets, but when it's slow, I'm pretty consistent, right? I keep myself pretty even, if not profitable. Like, I haven't had an unprofitable month since I've been profitable for 4 years now. It's coming up. So I love that consistency about myself, but I also miss maybe bigger gains in hotter markets. But I think I'm going to start a petition. You can comment in the section below if we should change this episode, not from Twist, but to what is Kyle frustrated about this week? Because if you watched last week's episode, I talked about how I was incredibly frustrated because I gave all my gains back on ENZC. That was just a warm up. Today is I've experienced a whole new level of frustration and infuriation, not because I lost money, but because I just couldn't fill. And like, Jack and Matt were saying, this is a slow market, so you should take time off and really only show up when the best plays are here. For someone like me being a short seller, today was the day. If I could have picked any day to show up this month, it would have been today, because I saw the most opportunity. And so I was very excited coming today. And coming out the open, I filled on nothing. So like all the plays I was looking to play, didn't play them, ended up losing money on the day. Only like $600. It's nothing, like big term and big picture, whatever. But like Jack said, he made 17 grand in the first hour. I 100% should have been right there with him. Like, I don't know what it was. And then where's why it's so frustrating is because I thought about this. This is how like messed up my brain is with money. I actually enjoyed the ENZC situation more than I enjoyed the situation this morning, because in the ENZC situation, yes, I lost money, but I had something that I could learn from, right? I wasn't following my rules. I was taking too big size. I took too many, attempts at this panic dip buy. So I was like, great, Kyle, you're being an idiot. Like, you can learn from that. You can improve on that. You can follow your rules better. Today, I have nothing to take away from today, other than that you just didn't fill on probably the two most biggest setups of the month. So it's like, I don't know, how do I improve on that? You know what I mean? Like, you don't, like, and it's okay. Like, again, big picture, it's just one day out of the thousands of days we've been here, and 1,000 more days we'll be here. So again, big picture, no big deal. But again, when it's a slower market, and certain days count way more than others, and certain days can literally make your entire month, and then you don't even get filled on those days that you want to trade, like, I can't do anything about it. I just have to soak in it and like just eat it. So that's where I'm at. It's not fun. We can go over the charts if we want, but yeah, I don't have any trades because I didn't fill today. So it's like, what are you gonna do?
It's just, yeah, you can't. I mean, you summed it up. What is there to say about it besides I didn't fill? You know what I mean? Like, what's there to learn from it? What's there to do better next time? What's there to do? You know what I mean? It's just nothing. It's like you simply put in your order, and it's just the way the OTC market works. And there's inefficiencies with fills, and sometimes you just miss because these market makers just screw you, and there's nothing you can do. So.
Yeah, and I think that's what's most frustrating to add on top of it, is that it's not a partial fill. It's not like no fill on one play and you fill another. It was like every play I wanted to attempt, which was probably 3 or 4. 3 for certain. The 4th one I could have gone without, which I'd really tried too hard to fill, but like nothing. So, like, it's just probably and again, like, there's certain times where in the hot market I filled everything, like there were certain days where I filled every time at the price I wanted. So if you can have it that great in good markets, like, you can have it just as bad in bad markets. And so that's pretty much what I've experienced today. So again, what could have been a 10, 20 grand day resulted in a negative $600 day. So it is what it is. Again, big picture, it's nothing detrimental, totally fine. Like, again, we'll see hot markets in the future. They'll be back. It's just coping and weaving and bobbing through the market we're in now. And yeah, just staying afloat. So
I vote we give the people what they want, and we show charts on WIKFATW. What is Kyle frustrated about this week?
Okay.
Whoa.
All right, let's pull it up. Here we go.
The host of this week's WIKFATW.
Did you
Please
write that
break down what we're seeing here?
So RECAF, just beautiful multi-day runner, right? We haven't seen one of these in probably a month, at least to this degree and this volume and this extension. Just a great, daily chart. The intraday and the price action isn't great. It's a little bit tough, but that doesn't mean it wasn't going to follow the, overall framework of how we try to trade these things, which we were looking for the first red day today. And so right out the open, I want to get short. Right out the open, if you didn't look at the daily chart, every day we have not gone red. So gap up, never touch red. Another small gap up, never touch red. Bigger gap up, never touch red. So the first red day, like the first tick I see red, like I want to get short. And so we actually gapped down today. Previous close was 680. It opened around in the 660, 650s. And I'm trying to get short all I can. Like, I'm just trying to get a full position. I wanted to get between 10 and 15,000 shares. Had my orders well below the best bid in the 650s, and just nothing, filled nothing. Tried immediately canceling orders and trying a new route. I see other traders that I'm talking with in certain chats being like, I filled here, I filled there, I got this price, I got that price. And I'm just looking at my screens and there's just no feedback, like no fills. And so I just see it kind of all day, and part of me in hindsight realized I could have maybe gone aggressive and shorted this bounce here. But again, at the same time, I wanted to try to you get in this like downward trending train of thought where, okay, well, I wanted to get filled at 650. Let me wait for a bounce to 650, and that doesn't come. And so when I just see this thing fade and fade lower and lower and lower, you get that if you've traded before, which most people listening to this have traded, like you get in this zone of FOMO and trying to chase. And if you're a newer trader, some of you end up doing chasing. It's like some of you start shorting it down here and you don't even realize we're down 15% at that point. So at least that was the good takeaway about today, is that I didn't break any rules, right? I stayed disciplined to how I like to trade. It just sucks because when you don't fill, you see a play that works that you should have shorted, that you would be sitting up pretty nicely on a profit, and you're not participating. Same thing with HMBL. I did fill a little bit here, like just a slightly bit, which resulted in a small profit. But I mean, I filled like a fourth, not even a fourth, like 10% of what I wanted, so very, very frustrating. And then I tried actually reshorting on the new low day here, which is, in my opinion, is kind of a chase, even though it did panic more. In many cases, sometimes this doesn't really go anywhere. And as you can see, it had a couple fake out bounces. So I quickly shorted and then covered for break even to then watch it go even lower. So at this point, I'm just like super tilted. I took a break midday, came back, saw RECAF, this bounce here. I'm like, okay, this is the bounce I'd like. Like, this is a nice bounce. I know now we have resistance in the 630s. Let me get short and fade this for first red day and then look to cover tomorrow for a potential second red day. So I get short around 620. It just does nothing all day, does nothing really in here, holds view up, and we start uptrending again. So I cut it for a loss, which is what took me red on the day. So just very frustrating to have missed really the only time, like Jack said, he showed up for the first hour. That's all I needed today, was just this first hour, and I could have been done with an amazing, 5-figure day and been done, but instead I'm tilted. I'm still angry. I'm still frustrated from the morning. I'm like, what, let's give this a liquid bounce a shot. Turns out it was the last trade I want to make on the day, and I lose. So again, big picture, no big deal, but from a day-to-day basis in a very slow market where I have to try to stay afloat, just very, very frustrating to not fill, because that's all really matters. Like, this is when you trade something, I'm babbling on here, but when you trade something that you've traded so many, like hundreds of times, this setup, all you need to do is fill. Like, it's free money in the corner. All you need to do is just get filled, and you don't. Like we just mentioned this, 10 minutes ago. Just there's nothing I can do about it. So I think that's what makes it most frustrating to me, because there's nothing I can do, and it happens. So I just have to live with it, soak in it, accept it, and just move forward. So
should I be the title of today's episode on WIKFATW? What's the title? Give us the title. How to get filled, or when to fill? Something to do with fills.
Yeah, how to never control your fills ever.
Ever?
You just don't ever. I don't know what to tell you. Like,
no, it should be like another day in a slow market. Kyle Williams versus
Kyle Williams. Yeah. Kyle Williams versus his fills. Who wins?
All right, I can work with that. Sounds good.
Kyle Williams 0, OTC market maker or market maker
1. I think we have a winner. Jack just gave us the winner. So
the clear winner. Jack and the OTC market makers are always winning.
Ooh.
What if there's market makers like secretly knowing my account and they're just laughing like, oh, it's this guy again, we're not gonna fill him.
That's some conspiracy shit right there.
Yeah, that probably doesn't happen, but it would be.
This guy shorts every stock into the ground.
Well, see, they're confused because Jack threw them off. They probably track your IP. Jack's trading from a different Wi-Fi network right now, so they're like, "Who is this guy? I don't know what's going on."
Bro,
so that's probably why I got the fills.
Go to the.
I need to change.
Go to the humble chart.
Okay.
Dude, I filled 4,000 short at 175 today.
Yeah, like that little wick.
Sense.
That little wick was real, and that was Jack's fill. Yeah.
Kyle got no fills, and I got some mysterious fill that automatically put me up like $1,000 on some of my shares.
Yeah.
It literally makes no sense.
I need to move. I'm going to move locations for 2 weeks and see how that works. Because today wasn't doing it.
Free fills.
Yeah.
There we go. Go check like Starbucks or something. Are they open over there?
They are. Yeah. So we should.
We're from the beach. You can get a hot spot. That would really throw the market makers off. Like totally different IP. You can always be moving.
Yeah.
Just saying.
I might have to try it out. Yeah.
All right, we can wrap this up.
All right. Where are we at? Where's my thing? Where do I stop sharing? There it is.
All right. So that's all we got today. Just some closing like thoughts of mine are like we've said on like previous episodes a ton. Like I got 50 stocks, 100 stocks on my watch list. And like it's just the time. Like, I mean, Kyle and Jack alluded to it a couple times throughout the episode where like your watch list might be like one stock, but like, I mean, that's all you need to focus. And when the play's there, you just nail it and then you just bail. Because if you stick around looking for other plays, it's that type of market where you're just going to bleed money away, which I mean is most of what we saw in like 2019. So just be super focused, be super selective. And a lot of people, if you're under PDT, like honestly, like there's nothing to be frustrated about in this market now because like there might only be 2 or 3 plays a week. So when the plays are there, just make sure you're ready, make sure you're focused, nail them, and then just move on with your day. That's what I got. That was my takeaways from this episode. WIKFATW.
I couldn't agree. You know, I want to add one more thing where I talked about how certain days might mean more in this market. You know, they're much more critical, I would say, and much more smaller margin of error. And I think in this last few months of market, we were given too much margin of error where there was like no margin of error at all. Like if you screwed up on one play, great. There was 10 plays 5 minutes later. You know, and so if someone's starting right now, I would almost prefer learning in this kind of a market, even though it's tougher, but because you're gonna learn how to be very efficient quickly, you know, because you're used to dealing with such small margin of error. Whereas then you see a hot market and all of a sudden it becomes 10x easier. You know, if all these traders who are making a lot of money in this hot market have learned bad habits and they've learned that they can just buy a stock and it goes up and they have no idea what they're actually doing, you know, and where in this market, there's much more skill, there's much more tactical, there's much more patience. And, you know, so if you're frustrated or, you know, me and Jack have talked about this with our new breakouts and breakdowns room, you know, we kind of feel bad because people are subscribed to our room. Like we have trades, they're learning, they're telling us they're learning from us, which is great. But as much as I'd want to teach them, there's just not good examples as much as I'd like, you know, and many times like Jack said, he's leaving midday. I'm kind of leaving sometimes during the day. And because there's nothing, you know, I'm going to lose money if I just stick around, you know? So hopefully if you're just starting, you're learning this, don't feel like this is how it always is. And, you know, it goes through cycles, and just stick with it. You know, we're here because we've been through this market multiple times, and this is just another time. So,
yeah.
Boom.
I would say that 90% of traders were winning the last 18 months where, you know, people who were buying low price stocks, they were rising up, like they were spiking, they were holding, they were continuing higher. They were a really good investment for 18 months. And for people who were newer and they were buying cheaper stocks, they were all winning, right? The short sellers were getting murdered. People, you know, hedge funds were getting killed. And that's not what it is anymore. You know, at one point there was only a couple stocks underneath $1 on the NASDAQ market. And the amount of money being flowed into the OTC market was like 1.9 trillion or something in a month, which was like a huge increase. I'm pretty sure Tim Sykes posted something about it and I saw it, and it was just parabolic OTC dollar volume. And now if you look at these watch lists, everything's just going lower and lower and lower. And people who are buying these low price stocks are most likely 90% are losing right now because, you know, they're not adapting. They don't know how to pick the one out of, you know, 30 that is going to work because they're just used to buying whatever and making money. And that's just not the case anymore. So like Kyle was saying, I think it is just a really good time to step back and just learn because, you know, we all struggled in 2019 and, you know, that prepared us for this market. That prepared us to give us the mentality to treasure, you know, the plays, to, you know, be really in tune and be really focused, because we know how quickly it can turn right back off like it is now. And if you don't go as hard as you can, like, you're gonna have a lot of regret. But now it's just about learning to be efficient, like Kyle said. And we learned how to be efficient in the slow market, and have been waiting. We waited for what we just did, for years. So now we're back to the waiting game. Now we're back to being efficient. Now we're back to being disciplined, and just taking it day by day, very slow. So,
all said, boys. Appreciate having you on. As always, if you're new, make sure you like, subscribe, check out the links in the description below, because I'm sure we'll have a bunch. But yeah, we do this every week. We record this one on Tuesday, which is a day earlier than normal, April 20th. So you're watching it on the 22nd. But yeah, like I said, make sure you like, subscribe. Thanks for watching.